Rotenbach's unbelievable time vaults him up 3 places into the second spot, just 7 seconds behind Toyota's Johnny Gemmell. Kuhn holds station while Habich tumbles 2 spots into 4th position. By the time the crews make it to service after stage 8, their cars are in dire need of new tyres. New boots are fitted, minor repairs are carried out, and then it's back to the grindstone for the last 2 serious stages, including one final blast through the forest of Longmore. For Johnny Gemmell, the rally was unfolding in exactly the way he had hoped. First on the leaderboard is undeniably the place to be, and with just 2 more gravel stages to go, he had reason to feel confident.
I know he's flying. On that first one, I think he took 10 or 15 from us and everybody else, and the last one also. And apparently he slowed down in Mark's dust as well, so it's going to be tough.
But Enzo Kuhn was still very much part of this fight and knew that he would have to dig deep in order to beat Gemmell to the line.
The goal is definitely a win and obviously protecting our championship status. We're having a big fight with Johnny, and it's very tight at the front there.
Having found the pace he lost on day 1, Conrad Rotenbach was now again a serious threat to the 2 works drivers, especially since the Ford was closing in on them at a ridiculous rate on each stage. The big question was, did Rotenbach have what it would take to take the overall lead of the rally on the final forest stage?
No, the feeling with the car is really good. It's feeling good, and we're trying hard. So it's still a couple of stages to go, so we'll see what can happen.
Into the breach once more goes Johnny Gemmell and Drew Starrock in their works Toyota Auris, facing the forest for the last time on this event. By now, the stage known as Sinkdam has become familiar territory, as it is the reverse of stage 7 and an exact repeat of stage 3 from the day before. Gemmell makes it through the stage in a time of 10 minutes and 47.6 seconds, again good enough to fend off the Wolves from Wolfsburg. Kuhn storms through next, very much aware of the fact that time and distance are both running out. He needs to make a move if he wants to win, and make it fast. But in order to make any inroads on Gemmell, he really needs to blow the Toyota out of the water. Kuhn pushes for all he's worth, but only just manages to match the time set by his adversary.
Big push there in the stage, but I see Johnny tried hard and got the same time. So.
Jan Habich and Ralph Pitchford, now on fresh tyres, take on Sinkdam next and blast through in a time of 10 minutes and 43 seconds, a full 4 seconds faster than Gemmell and fast enough to win the stage. The highly experienced Habich also moves up to 3rd overall thanks to this time, but in fairness, he was assisted by Lady Luck. That's because Conrad Rotenbach and Peter Marsh, who had such high hopes for this stage, ran into trouble.
Long max right.
We've got a puncture again.
They hit a rock and suffered a puncture which not only cost them at least 20 seconds, but effectively dashed all their hopes of making it to the top step of the podium.
11, 8 Ks.
Their bad luck dropped them down 2 places on the leaderboard and added insult to injury by forcing them to fit the spare before heading off to the P Oval for the final gravel stage.
Gemmell remains the king of the hill, with Enzo Kuhn taking aim at the top spot thanks to some good stage times. Habich moves into 3rd while Rotenbach tumbles to 4th. Further down the field, Mark Rondier in the 2nd Castrol Toyota Auris overtakes Nicholas Ryan's Volkswagen Polo for 8th place overall. Stage 10 is the last full-size stage of the 2010 Volkswagen Rally, with just the 1.3-kilometre tarmac sprint in PE to follow. This final gravel stage is an exact repeat of stage 4 from day 1 and offers the very last real opportunity to make up time. But 10.2 kilometres isn't very much when you have to make up 8 seconds on a competitor like Johnny Gemmell.
And this is exactly what Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson needs to do if they want to stand any chance of beating Gemmell in the final stage. The Toyota is first into the stage, however, and Gemmell has a clean run. His time of 7 minutes and 12.4 seconds is 5 seconds faster than the time he posted here yesterday. But is it fast enough to hold off Kuhn?
Yesterday we got caught out with the sunlight right in my eyes. I couldn't see properly and a bit of our own dust. But now it was all right.
Now with everything to play for, Kuhn can't afford to hold back as he launches his Volkswagen Polo into and around the winding stage. Yesterday, the drivers had to contend with a setting sun, but today the weather and the light is perfect, and Kuhn sets a time of 7 minutes and 8.4 seconds, 2 seconds faster than his first attempt on day 1, leaving him just 5 and a bit seconds short of Gemmell's time on the overall standings.
I was pushing now. I tried my best.
Jan Habich in the 2nd BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polo comes through next and manages the 5th fastest time on the stage, enough to be respectable, but not quite enough to give him a shot at the win. He is now nearly 14 seconds behind Gemmell and 9 back from teammate Keen. With just a short tarmac stage to come, they'll have to settle for third if everything keeps going right from here. As on the previous day, Charles Wilkin muscles his Basil Reed Bizub-sponsored Fiesta through stage 10 in an amazing time of 7 minutes and 4.5 seconds, his best effort on gravel all weekend. It is fast, yes, but not quite as fast as the 7 minutes and 3.3 seconds posted by Conrad Rautenbach in the similar machine. This is more than a full second quicker than Wilkin's time and 5 faster than the time posted by Enzo Keen, but still not enough to shift Rautenbach up on the overall standings.
Stage 10 saw every single competitor in the top 10 simply hold station, though Kuhn moved to within 5 seconds of the lead. With just the 1.2 kilometre tarmac showstopper at Kings Beach in PE to come, one has to wonder if his monumental effort on stage 10 wasn't just a bit too little and a bit too late. The friendly Cape Townian, however, is cautious to make any predictions at this point, though his resolve is clear.
We'll push very hard, try and win it, but I doubt if we can take 4 seconds in 1 kilometre.
But Johnny Gemmell's view is even more cautious than that of Kuhn. Rallying is a cruel sport, and counting anything before it's hatched in this game is a sure way to end up with egg on your face.
Should be all right, but it's never over to the end, eh?
At Kings Beach, the arena is set. Rally fans line the last stage as the teams prepare for the final dash to the end. Traditionally, these stages are crowd pleasers, designed to bring rallying to the people, and seldom have any real influence on the outcome of an event. But this time, the overall victory has come down to the wire, with just 1.2 kilometres of tarmac separating Gemmell from his second successive victory and a second successive home victory for the Volkswagen team. But the dice are loaded in the favour of the Toyota driver, as he still has 5 seconds in hand.
Further down the field, however, the different classes are embroiled in battles of their own, though most of the scores are settled even before the start of the final stage. In Class A6, it was Leroy Poulter and Henry Deerlove that romped home to a comfortable win in their Imperial Toyota Runnings, beating their nearest rivals Chart Conradi and Rian Erasmus in their Silverton Engineering Hencom Autobody Toyota Auris by a margin of nearly 2 minutes. Craig Trott and navigator Robbie Coetzee bring up third spot in their Team Total Toyota Runnings. Class A5 turned into a rather one-sided affair, with Ashley Hake-Smith and Hilton Orphy in the Team React Toyota Yaris brushing aside Chad Lambert and Herman Groenewald in their Toyota Yaris. The daughter and father pairing of Stefanie and Willem Higu took a maiden class victory in their Wiel Toyota Runnings, beating their only competition in the form of Robson Maganesi and Sean Visser, driving a Ford Fiesta ST by a comfortable margin. But back to the final stage at Kings Beach and the moment of truth for the big boys at the front of the field. Johnny Gemmell is first into the stage and clearly pushes as hard as he dares. A slip at this stage could see him lose the rally, but equally he has to make sure that he's fast enough that Keen can't catch him. He comes over the flying finish in a time of 2 minutes and 9.3 seconds. But since he is first on the road, it is impossible to gauge if this is fast enough or not. As it turns out, Gemmell's time is not particularly good, and he ends up being only the 6th fastest man on the final stage. He is soundly beaten by Tiens Hubert and Carl Peskin in the Salon Group Volkswagen Polo, Jan Habig and Ralph Pitchford, Nicholas Ryan and Jeff Tyler in their Volkswagen Polo, and Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich in the Basil Reed Bizub Fiesta. But the fastest man through Kings Beach is the man that needed more than anyone to be fast on this final stage. Enzo Keen romped into the short circuit and drove the wheels off his works Volkswagen Polo, going all in on this last roll of the dice. He managed to keep it clean and hooked up the corners better than anyone else. Where others aimed to please the crowd, Keen aimed simply at taking the 5 seconds he needed for victory from Gemmell. He clearly put everything he had on the line, but in the end, his valiant attempt left him just out of reach of Gemmell, with just 1.5 seconds separating them at the end.
A second victory on the trot for Gemmell, again by an extremely narrow margin. Kuhn and Habig take second and third respectively, handing Volkswagen everything they had dreamed of, except the most important spot of all. Conrad Rautenbach had to settle for fourth and is left pondering what could have been were it not for a small off in stage 2 and a puncture that cost him too much time. Charles Wilkin will be pleased to bring his Ford home in 5th overall, while Visser du Plessis finds himself right behind the usual front runners. Johnny Gemmel's year had a rather poor start, but the moment is certainly swinging his way at the halfway mark.
Yeah, that was the plan from this morning, to try and stay ahead, and managed to do it. Although it was only 1.8, but still, great.
Enzo Kuhn will lie awake at night wondering if there really wasn't another 1.5 seconds to be had somewhere along the way. But still, second place keeps him very much at the sharp end of the championship fight.
I think I'm satisfied. We drove very hard today and we made no mistakes and we had no flat tires. The car ran faultlessly and Volkswagen gave me a very good car, probably the best car they've given me this year.
Jan Habig keeps on clocking up the points, and a third place in Port Elizabeth keeps his hopes alive.
Yeah, it's fairly okay. We're a little bit disappointed, but we had two stages where things didn't go that well, and we lost a couple of seconds in each. But I suppose third is a good haul of points, and we'll keep working at it.
For Toyota, the season has gone from bad to reasonable to excellent as the years progressed. Initially, it looked as if Volkswagen would simply steamroller their way to the championship, but now it seems as if the tide may be turning.
Well, that is a little sweeter, yeah. Nice bonus for us. Johnny and the team did a great job today, and leading